Hello jabronis, it's Space Commander Lorenzo here. Welcome back to episode 3 of Tylo and Eeloo, where today we're going to the moon. It's year 1, day 43 of the space program, and the actual game we're playing is happening in the build list here. So that means we want to go to Tylo. Within 141 days we need to have a ship ready. We need to do some researches, those are about 20 days each, and of course we then need to build the rocket. So if we have any upgrade points available here, I'm going to put them in the research department. 1 science for every 86, 100, 400 build point. I don't know what that means. Anyway, I suppose this makes it go faster. What we have for this episode is the lunar mission, which we will now roll out to the pad. So we'll see you in 4 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that, a day-lit launch. If they manage to get there, almost. Yeah, somewhat day-lit. If you watch the previous episode, you will see, you will remember, you won't see it now, you will have seen it, that this is a sort of placeholder mission to get contract money in and research points while we do the researches and developments for the probe that we want to send to Eeloo. We're currently constructing Quickie Science in the vertical assembly building. That's just a sounding rocket with some science pods on it for near Kerbin observations, and this one is now going to blaze the trail and take a man to the moon for the first time, because we haven't researched unmanned probes yet. We will send we will send Jebediah, because this rocket, we simulated it last episode, this rocket needs a adept pilot at the helm. Because there's no control surfaces and the wings are fixed, it is fairly hard. Let's see if the life support actually has long enough on one of these canisters. Well, we'll just have to assume that it does. Here we go. Blast off. I think we're just going to attempt to go sort of straight up until the boosters run out, because we can't do anything better. We cannot steer this thing. As soon as it locks into a course, it's going there. So I put Jebediah on SAS mode. This means he does not make crazy sassy jokes. It means he tries his darndest to keep the ship aligned. And that should work out. By the way, the upgrade of the launch pad we did last episode, that has helped for this, because this thing weighs more than 18 tons, and if with the level 1 launch pad we wouldn't have been able to actually do that. So we are now accelerating beyond the speed of sound, and because we are running Ferrum Aerospace and deadly re-entry, chute deployment is now apparently very, very unsafe, but we will make it. You can see we are veering off course a bit, but now that we've lost the boosters explosively, we should be able to regain a bit of control authority. We only have the reaction wheel in the pod here. Perhaps I could have added a SAS module. I'm not sure if we actually have that yet. But fortunately we are over 20 kilometers in altitude, which means that the atmosphere is thinning out and these wings have less of an effect. So the reaction wheels should be able to steer this thing around. I'm going to throttle back a bit, because we are still going mostly straight up, which is not the direction we want to be going. We want to be going horizontal. Now of course we haven't upgraded the tracking station yet, so there's no maneuver nodes for getting us to the moon. Fortunately there is an age-old trick in getting to the moon from Kerbin. This has been around since the early days of the game, and I will show you that this episode in case you didn't know that yet. First step is to get into an equatorial orbit about 100 kilometers in circumference. No, not in circumference, about 100 kilometers in altitude. Circumference will be more, because that of course includes the planet. Anyway, boosting horizontally now. Pretty much in the dark, apologies for that, but hey, we are now currently restricted by build times and rollout times, and we don't want to waste a minute. So if we end up launching at night, we are. Although maybe not. I don't know. We have a deadline to make. We're not gonna fuss about time. Right, 1200 meters per second. We're almost there. And then we can try our second stage. Oh, look at that. Found a little bug in the staging there. This would deploy the parachute along with the engine. Now, I'm not sure if that would actually harm things, because we'd be in space, but it would sure be untidy. So we can't have that. Alright, first stage is almost burned out. I do like, for some reason, I like the look of winglets in space. They don't do anything, but they just make a rocket look rockety. Suppose I'm a kid of the 60s. I'm not really. I'm a kid of the 80s. But, well, we already had rockets then as well. So, boom, launching the second stage. Drifting apart ever so gently and igniting the engine. There it goes. This is a markedly smaller engine, so there's less acceleration. We are almost in orbit though. Everything should be fine. We're at 140 kilometers of apoapsis. That means we can aim down slightly. So we don't want to have our orbit too high, because that would be technically wasting energy. If we have an apoapsis of 1,000,000 kilometers here, and we actually want to meet the moon over there, then it's not actually wasted, but it's slightly less efficient than having a low periapsis and a very high apoapsis on the right side. Anyway, I won't bore you with this boring orbital mechanics. I'll just time warp to the apoapsis so we don't have any trouble whatsoever. Let's have a look. Shall we attempt to use the moon to get us into a polar return orbit so we can try and get some polar science? That will be hard because we don't get maneuver nodes. Those are the things maneuver nodes are good for. Okay, scratch that idea. Alright, firing up the engine again. Now here comes the trick. Well, not quite yet. Here's the trick. You first establish orbit, as I said. This is about to happen. And then you just look at the horizon and fast forward time, or wait if you're the patient sort, until you see the moon rise over the horizon. See the moon rise. And then you burn. You burn your engine until you're going about 3,000 meters per second. Or your apoapsis is about, if I recall, between 13 and 15,000 kilometers. Jesus, that moon is close. The real life moon is of course about 300,000 kilometers. Wait, is that right? Yeah, it's about a light second, yeah. So that's a stark reminder that the Kerbal Space Program solar system really is very, very small indeed. So here we go. Full burn, we see the moon over there. No need to muck about with maneuver nodes, you can do this visually. It is important, this is why your initial orbit shouldn't be too high. Mine was at the high side, but you can imagine if you're really high, like 400-500 kilometers, the point at which the moon appears over the horizon will be drastically different. And then this trick won't work so well. It works best the closer you are to the planet. So try to get into a 100-kilometer equatorial orbit and then just light your engine when the moon appears. We can do this in physical time warp, surely. This is a small ship, and I think the physical time warp and time warp in general has undergone some stability improvements, because I've never had my parachute snap off or anything like that for a considerable while. Alright, now have a look at the map view. I'm overshooting massively. I should have paid more attention. That means that now we have to turn around. Also, we're sort of out. Oh no, it's only the plane of Minmus we're not interested in. Alright then. Let's reduce our apoapsis again. We're now braking. This is of course the worst move in the history of rocket science. You don't ever want to turn around and have to brake. But we're going to put our apoapsis at 13.5. Now remember, we will have an encounter, but the game won't show it because we don't have the requisite tech for that. But we are confident because we are veteran rocket scientists. This braking maneuver made me concerned about establishing orbit around the moon. We're probably not going to do that. We'll just use a flyby and send Jebediah home that way. Electric charge is running out. Of course, we don't have anything that generates it. So we better hope that... Wait, do we still have any? We have some electric charge. As soon as this runs out, we won't be able to orient our ship. That's a problem. So which way do we want our ship to be oriented? We can choose now. And not anymore after. We want our ship to be oriented retrograde, which will be because we want to brake at some point, which will, this is the orientation that's now prograde. I can't think about these things. If we put our ship like this and it goes around the moon, that's a braking. Yeah, that's a braking orientation. Then once we go around the moon, we can brake and turn back home. Alright, now our electric charge can run out and there is nothing we can then do to change our orientation. Apart, of course, Jebediah could go outside and push, which would be a little bit annoying. This also means that my awesome plan of radioing back science won't actually work. Hi over Kerbin, keep the data, we'll just have to go and actually return it. And he can get an, oh no, get an EVA report. Oh, isn't this serene? A nice small capsule with a planet in the background. I wish I could do that. Man, I'll just have to get rich and fly in some capsule which goes really close to the Earth instead of really far away. Oh well, that's what video games are for, I suppose. Oh no, Jebediah Kerbin died of air toxicity? I suppose the life support really wasn't enough. Oh no, it needs electricity! Oh god. Oh shit. Well, that's our first casualty right there. Whoops. Sorry, forgot that your air scrubbers need electricity to run. Well, alright. I suppose that means this is not going to be doing anything. There is science in here. We can see where the vessel goes. If it doesn't crash back to the planet, then we can at some point return that and... Look, here's the moon. There's no one to see this though, only the dead eyes of Jebediah. And I wonder what's gonna happen now. If it's gonna crash back to the planet... No, it's not gonna crash back to the planet. It's just gonna stay here. Possibly have more and more encounters with the moon. Well, that's a bit of a pity. The launch pad has been fixed though. Yay, hurrah! Let's just keep observing this vessel until the next milestone happens. I'm gonna have to fiddle with the Kerbal alarm clock to not stop the warp whenever these things happen. So we get... In 5 days we get another ship to launch and get some science, and we'll see if in that time this thing will crash somewhere. Probably not. The chances of that are pretty low. Here we go, coming back around. Zoom. Being flung away again. And here's the moon again. Are we now going to intercept the moon? No, we are in a different orbit by now. And our new ship is ready. We will mourn for Jebediah. It's only the 3rd episode and people are dying. That's a pity. We'll need to train a new pilot. For that, this mission will actually be really good. Let's go to the Space Center. Let's work on actually training pilots, scientists, and engineers, because I have a feeling they will be incredibly useful. This is the wrong building. This one. We need a scientist. No, we need a pilot, because Nielsen Kerman. Sure thing. Not very courageous. I need a more courageous pilot. Jorbret. Go on. Alright then. Oh, this is not quite complete yet. And what do we want to build after? And this is only 3 days. We're gonna wait for this. And then we can build... Yeah, we can build a plane and some stuff. Vessel complete. Did we actually get contract money for the lunar thing? No. Our money is pretty tight. We might have to rebuild the lunar cod, but with solar panels. Or batteries. Oh shit, we might actually run out of money. That would be horrible. Well, for now let's roll out this thing. I think we already paid for that. Yeah. Let's see if we can actually get a contract to do some science over... Science data from space around Kerbin. Well, I hope this can go to space. And we have a thing for science data from around the moon, but we can't just go and do that because our life support won't last that long. We'll try and get this. This is really easy anyway. From space, so we do have to get to space. We'll try and do that. Although this quickie science wasn't designed to go to space, it was designed to just hop around. So quickie science, no, we're going to do Jorbret, the pilot. I wonder, that was a tragic start of the day, because it's morning here where I'm doing this, and this is the first thing I'm doing after breakfast on this marvelous Sunday. And yeah, we have 3 tanks here and some science pods. Can we do a science pod here? Yes, keep the data. Can we do a crew report here? Yes, keep the data. Alright. This is going to be designed for maximum science munching. So can we do a mystery goo report here? Yes. And then we can do high atmosphere and space, hopefully. And if we get the space thing, then we have money to continue our flight. Launch pad reconditioning, of course. They need to do that. We can't just launch one thing after the other. Oh man, electricity for life support. That's a good title for the episode. And a good title for a dramatic Hollywood movement. Movement. Yeah, that's even more dramatic, but a movie and stuff, and god damn it, Jebediah is dead. You can see I'm starting to go incoherent because of the loss. I'm gonna try and shoot a little bit polary. Oh, I don't want to break up under atmospheric stress. Come on, come on, come on, don't break up. Don't break up. No! Don't break up! Oh, I could feel the aerodynamic stresses on that rocket there. Fortunately, we're high enough that this is just a pirouette for style. And we are continuing upward. Wow, that was a risky maneuver. Observing the mystery goo here. Kerbin's upper atmosphere. Oh yes, and I'm actually confident that we will make space. Well, I'm actually going to cut the engine now, so we can make a horizontal hop whilst we're up high. And I think this is a safe altitude for a EVA as well. No, it's not. EVA report. Kerbin's upper atmosphere. That's a daring EVA report. Here we are. We're in space. Can we now get a crew report from the upper atmosphere as well? Oh no, we still have to do the trick. Well, we're not going to scrounge that much. Alright. Observe mystery goo. I am just thinking aloud here. If that didn't make any sense, I don't blame you. Right. Let's see if we can make for the North Pole a little bit. And that means we could get an EVA report and some ground samples from a place that we haven't been yet before. Because the last thing we want is to be stuck for science. Oh man. But I think after this science thing completes, we get probe cores, and that means we can send a probe around the moon. We can even land it there because it won't have to return. Yeah, first a probe that will enter orbit around the moon and stay there. I think that's a good mission to get continuing science rewards. Alright. Let's ditch this useless shell of a rocket. Or what I can do is grab this data to go inside the pod. Let's do that. Let's do that at least for the... No, it will land safely, surely. Come on, let's not be a pussy. Boom. This is our landing vehicle, and we have the EVA report from space if it all fails. I mean, we have that report to satisfy the contract requirements. Actually, I'm now completely regretting the decision to leave these data on the outside. I forgot about the deadly re-entry thing, and we are now in horrific danger of burning up, or at least have our experiments burn up. That's not very good. It's not a very good game. Because we are going to use the experiments to save Jorbet's life, if it comes to it. Because I was reasoning, this strut has really good impact tolerance. We can land on that, no problem. But can it also... This would also have heating tolerance. Because we are going really fast, and it says chute deployment is now incredibly unsafe. Temperature, this is going to burn up. No! Oh shit, something burned up. What was that? Oh, the antenna maybe? Oh. Does the thing... The joint between... This is no longer attached? It still seems attached. No, it's not. That means we're gonna lose this. As soon as we deploy the parachute, these things will fall away from us. That's a pity. Hopefully this girder will save it. Let's try and orient it so that it will hit girder first and it will just bounce somewhere. Oh shit, that is a pity. I should have been a pussy and just gathered the science up. Let's actually deploy the parachute because that's the rocket. Let's keep an eye on this bit. Yeah, that's gone. That's gone. We only have Jorbert's experience to recount these tales now. Well, I suppose that means that after we build our probe, we'll build this thing again, because none of these None of the real missions will have the extra capacity to do these 4 science points, and they're just nice to have on a single standalone mission. We'll also add a materials bay if we have unlocked that as of then. Alright, so we'll do the administration and then move on to the next episode, I suppose. But holy shit, that didn't go as well as planned. Jebediah died, the experiments exploded. Not that great. Still, we trained a new pilot in flying around the planet. Well, not around the planet, but flying about around the planet. Well, let's recover him. Oh, could have gotten some more science points from actually sampling the dirt, what I was talking about in space, but didn't do that. Anyway, we did earn 10 science, and he gained an experience point. That's worth something, I suppose. Right. We didn't get this? Oh, maybe EVA reports don't count. Well, that's a bummer. That's not great. No vessels under construction. This will still take 4 days. No, what? This will still take 2 days. Can we build the quickie science real quick again? I wonder about that. Can we? We don't have the materials bay, but if we build this real quick again, that means that we can then we would grab the data inside the pod, and that also means that we could shuffle this around. Where we actually don't want to have it. Save that, and we want to use parts from the inventory, of course. Well, that saves a little time. 6 days for science points. The thing was gonna be done in that's 2 days, and at least we get to do something. Yes, let's build this. Build the vessel. Come on. Let's do that better. And hey, we get to train another pilot because we'll send them a different pilot. Nielsen will get to do that mission. And now we get to warp to completion. Stop do sphere of influence change? Yes, of course, but come on. That's a derelict. Oh, look at that, it's now gonna crash, I think. Oh, that's fun. Let's have a look at that. Let's witness Jebediah's graveyard ceremony. Jebediah, currently affected by the lunar gravity on an unobserved second pass, is now coming in for a definite crash back on his home planet. I don't think this counts as returning science data from the moon. He's coming in at 3 kilometers per second. Completely uncontrolled and just burns up in the atmosphere. Well, that's that, Jebediah. Unfortunately, that happened. No rescue mission for the corpse to be properly buried. What were we doing? Oh yeah, we were launching to launchpad we're warping to launchpad reconditioning. We don't have a build going on, but we have technology going on. And after this happens, we will get to do more technology, because we have the science. I mean, let's be honest about that. We do have the science. Oh man, such a failing episode. So, alright. So now we have airplane bits and probe bits. Can we get if we get this, we have batteries, but we won't be able to charge them. But we will be able to bring more power. This will give us solar panels and more science, and antennae and a wrench. We'll get this. I mean, there's no questioning that. 22 days, guys. 22 days. That will take forever. This has a KISS user guide. Nice. It gives us the user guide in a part. That's cool. Landing stuff. This is gonna be. Oh, this is actual proper airplane stuff. But we don't have science points for this anymore. let's move to the VAB and design a... well, not yet a probe. We'll design a lunar probe. This isn't going to be the Eeloo probe. Wait, but we still don't have batteries or solar panels. So we can't build a probe that goes anywhere. That was a miscalculation on my part, because of course it will run out of power immediately as soon as we shut off the engines. We need to do this node, which is now researching, and then we can think about building a probe, and it will be one of those annoying ones that run out of power intermittently. We can try and build a plane though, a rocket plane. And you might think, why the hell bother with a rocket plane? Two things: we need to get experience building planes. I don't have it. No, this actually this won't let us build a good plane. We have square wings and no gears and nothing. So yeah, no. But we need to get experience building planes because we are going to be operating close to Lathe. It will be nice to bring a space plane hybrid thing there to explore those oceans once we're mucking about Tylo anyway. And we can do the survey Kerbin. Well, not the moon, obviously. We can do visual surveys of Kerbin with a space plane. Well, with a regular plane, I should say. But it's too early, we don't have the parts. So, warping to completion for quickie science. And then what? Then wait 20 days for the science tech so we can have solar panels for a probe. Or attempt something else. Do a test thing, plant a flag, rescue Shellberry. Maybe we can try this one. That will be hard without... well, we'll get money from the... We'll take things one step at a time. We will not... This mission won't take longer than half an hour anyway. We will do this mission and then decide on doing a... maybe a rescue contract would be nice. It will be hard because we don't have the maneuver node upgrades. But maybe we can afford the maneuver node upgrades after completing this science contract. There's something. Anyway, we are going to train the new pilot. They both don't have experience? I thought they gained a point of experience. In that case, Nielsen. He's the new one. I don't think the other one will gain 1 experience point from doing the same mission again. Even though this time he actually does stand a chance of surviving. Cool. Well, the crew reports, they got returned, so we don't need to repeat them. Keep the data and just go. And keep the data from here. Keep that. Crew report, this already exists. We're not going to try an EVA report from here, that will be incredibly reckless. Now it's just basically waiting until we breach space. Toggle these things. I mean, even the... we didn't just research the materials bay, which we could have now brought, right? No, that's still in progress here. Science tech, yeah, that would be solar panels and materials. Cool, I'm not building anything. Should have maybe focused more points in faster research, because this, oh my god. We're going pretty fast actually. Our rocket is doing its job well. We have ground, we have lower atmosphere, now we just need upper atmosphere and space, and then we'll set to be happy. And then of course we shouldn't forget to have Nielsen go outside and actually grab these data, because that is sorely needed. Observe the mystery goo. Yes, let's get the engine and just coast up. Time warp on. It's very dark. Apologies for that. Alright, we're in space. Observe mystery goo. Yes, and now of course Nielsen. Go on. Light your suit lamps. fly back to the ship and go and collect the data. That's 2. That's 3. No, I didn't want to scrap it. Jesus, I hope when you do bring an engineer that has a confirmation dialogue. Okay, remove the data. That gives us all the data. Let's get back inside. Come on. I know you like it out here in space. Actually, it should be terrifying. Vacuum all around you. One breach and you're in, well, you're not immediately dead, but you're in big, big trouble. Come on, especially if you keep bumping into your ship like that. Oh, I'm getting too angry. Come on. Come on. Come on, you pillock. Enter your ship. Yes. Alright. Now what? Let's aim for that wonderful grassland again. Full thrust on the engine. Get some horizontal velocity going to at least lengthen the path through the scorching atmosphere a bit, even though it's a small Kerbin. So it should be fine anyway. I'm not sure, am I now just adding energy that needs to be braked away in the atmosphere, or am I lengthening the path? I mean, I'm for sure adding energy, but I'm also lengthening the path through the atmosphere by going more sideways. I wonder if that's I think this is a good trade-off. Anyway, let's ditch the rocket, we don't need that anymore. And now we can enable time warp. The next bit will be really dark. There is nothing I can do about that at this point. I could have been smarter with the mission planning, but I wasn't. We will just try and warp through the worst of it. Fortunately, soon the incandescent plasma from the shock heating will provide us with some light. Here we go. Nice firelight. Let's disable the time warp for now. Let's not take any undue risks. We need to be slowing down. We're decelerating at about 10 Gs. And chute deployment is still very unsafe, it says. We're 10 kilometers up. Don't think Kerbin has plateaus that high, but I can't see. Oh, there's the ground. Hello, ground. Chute deployment is now safe. Let's deploy. Hurrah. That is deployed, right? It is. Crew report from here? Yeah. Keep the data. Oh, I could have tried an EVA report in space as well. Maybe it was a different biome. Probably not, though. Anyway, I think we are now going to ace the contract to return science data. That should go well. I see on my clock this episode is already running long. Unfortunately, we didn't really achieve anything, but we made some progress, and of course the timer has ticked through, and we're now well, waiting on the next tech node. This will be the first one that will unlock. This will unlock a probe to the moon, because it will have solar panels, and probes don't mind too much if their air supply gets intermittently cut off. I don't really dare send a manned mission with only solar panels and no batteries, because then if there is an eclipse or go on the dark side of the moon, the unlit side of the moon I should say, because there isn't a dark side, then they will just asphyxiate immediately, which of course is quite less than ideal. So I want the batteries before we can send manned guys, but with this 20 science point unit, we can at least send a solar powered probe, and that's ultimately the minimum requirement of sending something to Joule. Although if we send a solar powered solely solar powered probe to Joule, that will be hell in maneuvering, because of course Joule has lots of moons and little sun, so we'll run out of power all the time. And we may just not even be able to do a maneuver that we want. So I kind of want the batteries quite badly. Anyway, we got lots of science, and we got the contract, and we got an experience point for Nielsen. So that's some success here. Yeah. So I think there's nothing to it. Oh, we can have a gander here. I really don't want to use rockets. I mean, I can do this with a rocket, but I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. And we have missions to explore Duna and Ike, but those are not our missions. We don't want to be bothering with Duna and Ike. We want the special resources on Eeloo to colonize Tylo, Because on Tylo, our Kerbals will experience roughly homeward gravity, and it's good. Okay, so we're going to use the moon as a testing ground, not Duna and Ike. Come on. Science data from around the moon. We can do that. We are going to do that with a solar-powered probe in the next episode. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. I'm Lorenzo. Goodbye.